Welcome everyone to Old Roommates. Today on the show, we revisit 1984's 16 Candles. So don't be a smartass, be a dumbass, and join us. The revisit is about to begin.
Welcome everyone to Old Roommates, the only podcast that revisits pop culture through a middle-aged lens. This is Christina.
And this is Brian.
And we have a special guest for you. You may remember her from our very popular Breakfast Club episode number 160. Our friend Naomi has come back to help us revisit 16 Candles. Welcome, Naomi.
Thank you, guys. It's great to be back.
We are so happy
It's
you're
really
here.
great to be back.
Our John Hughes aficionado.
Yes, I was gonna ask, are you like a big Molly Ringwald fan? Is that why you're back for 16 Candles?
I did like Molly Ringwald in all of the John Hughes films, but I think I was more so enjoyed the sort of coming of age storytelling from John Hughes. Although I don't know about 16 Candles, you guys.
Well, we will dive into that because we begin, Naomi, as we always do, by speaking about then. So let's all travel way back to the 80s and discuss the first time and our thoughts about seeing 16 Candles. We'll start with Christina.
Yeah.
Well, I do not know the first time, but it was definitely in my high school days. It was right around, what year was it? 84?
84.
So it was right around the time. I don't think I saw it in the movie theaters, but...
Oh my God. May 4th, 1984.
Are you kidding?
Oh
swear to God.
my gosh!
I didn't get that. I just got
Naomi's
the year.
birthday.
That's my birthday.
Not 84. I mean, you wish, but like, we all wish. But
Oh my gosh.
May 4th.
That's
May the
great.
4th
So it
be
was
with
meant
you.
to be with
Yeah.
you. That is
It was
interesting.
meant to be. So anyway,
I just
I
realized
don't
that,
I don't think I saw it in the movie theater. I don't remember, but I remember seeing this movie and I loved this movie. I was too a very big fan of John Hughes and his movies, and I just thought it was hilarious, and I've seen it many, many times after. Very quotable. I feel like just everybody just knows so many lines from this movie. But yeah, I loved it. I really
When was
loved
the
it.
last time you watched it before you rewatched it
Oh,
for this?
it's got to be at least 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah, it's been a long, long time.
Naomi, how about you?
So I was a bit younger than Christina.
Not much.
I was in middle school. And, of course, this was the time period where, like, everything was about MTV, right? So I remember there was a contest on MTV for the, big promotion and premiere of the film. I don't quite remember what the contest was or what they were giving away. I just remember being like, they really were promoting this film on MTV, and I was super excited to see it. And I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be such a great movie, and yada, yada, yada. And then I believe I saw it in the movie theater.
Yeah.
And, of course, I was like, I want a Jake Ryan for my own.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
So I just was like hooked. And like you, Christina, I thought it was very funny. Like there were so many different characters that, felt sort of like they could be relatable to me as I moved into high school.
Right.
Because it wasn't
yeah,
quite
I mean,
in
we're
high
all
school
in high school,
yet.
so...
But yeah, I just
we
felt
know
like,
everybody like that.
Like it was, very similar to that. So that's where, my earliest memory of the film came.
I don't think we were all in high school, Christina.
Oh my.
Because I was 12.
Yes, we were,
Yeah,
we were
Naomi
both
was-
12.
yeah.
Middle
Naomi
school.
was
She
both
said
12.
middle school.
Oh, I thought you said high school.
I said high school.
She said high school.
She
yeah.
said middle school.
Oh, okay.
And she said, and I'm sorry if you were not paying attention, but she said she was thinking about moving into high school.
Yeah.
The characters that...
I heard everything
Did
she
you? Because
said.
it seems like I just had to repeat everything she said. Go on, Brian.
Naomi, I'm sorry you had to see this.
And you're 12 years old.
So,
Fine.
in my 12-year-old mind, I definitely didn't see this at the movie theater. Unlike some, I was not born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Okay? Like you two. So I had to wait the way the poor folk did, and they waited for VHS because like if you remember though, like VCRs cost like $500.
They were
Remember that? It was
so
such a
very
big
expensive.
deal. It was a huge deal if you had a VCR. But so yeah, I remember watching it and like the hype, because it was so like classic and it was like instant classic, and everyone talked about it.
Yeah.
And I remembered like not really liking it because I think at this point I believe I had watched The Breakfast Club before this movie, and I think my expectations were askew, and I just didn't care for it. I really didn't like anybody in it, and Jake Ryan is incredibly handsome, but I just remember almost being like a little shocked, like the nudity. This is PG.
Yeah.
Full breasts and butt are on view.
Mm-hmm.
And they even say the F word.
That's true.
So this is like, and also like the house party. It's like,
Oh,
my
that
God,
was what it was. I bet you were like, this house is too messy.
Well, yeah, it's like this, just like bad.
They really did trash
Bad kids. They didn't respect their parents. They were multhy. Just not my thing at all. So
you didn't really.
I didn't like it.
You didn't relate to Samantha at all, the main character?
Why would I relate to her?
Because you've similar ages, and just because she was like just the star of the movie, and I felt like she was pretty relatable. She was just sort of an average girl.
No, I probably related more to the Geek.
I would say that, that's what I would think. You'd relate to the Geek.
Yeah.
Definitely, 100%.
Buying somebody.
All of the Geeks.
Bribing someone for her underwear. Is that what you would do?
Yeah.
Cut! No, I think, because it's like he just, felt different, didn't really, fit in, had a couple friends, and like, no, I don't know. Like,
And he was a try-hard a bit.
Yeah.
Like you.
But Samantha, they forgot her birthday. They completely ignored her.
Christina, we'll dive into now. So, but no, I did not relate to Molly Ringwald. And again, I want to say, I believe I watched The Breakfast Club before this movie. So my expectations are very high. This movie just didn't sustain that at all. So let's see. We'll dive into now.
Okay.
And let's just, I guess, have an open conversation. I'll tell you my first note.
Go on then.
Justin Henry, who, any movie buffs out there, he is the youngest.
The brother?
The little brother, yeah. The youngest Oscar nominee of all time.
Really?
For Kramer versus Kramer. He was 8 when Kramer versus Kramer came out. He was nominated for an Oscar. My first note is, she got her period. Should be an interesting honeymoon, eh? And the next one is something also that he says is, don't be a smartass, fine, I'll be a dumbass. Yeah. I thought he was great. He was like probably like one of the big pluses for me on this rewatch. He felt like a legitimate kid.
Yeah.
And a multi-kid.
Like a smart ass.
A smart ass.
Pain in the ass brother.
Yeah. Kind of mellowed everybody else out.
Yeah.
He brought the perspective that everybody needed.
Yes.
Almost.
Kind of said what everybody was thinking.
Yeah. The old soul.
How about you guys? Initial first notes?
Go ahead, Naomi.
So I rewatched the film.
Oh yeah, when? I rewatched it
just this week.
Yeah.
And I watched it with my 2 teenage daughters who both have seen it before.
Okay.
So they're like, "Oh, can we watch it too?" And I said, "Yeah, let's sit down and watch it." And so my 19-year-old, her the first thing she said was, "Jake Ryan is creepy."
Mm-hmm.
She found him very creepy, and I was like, "Oh, I loved him." And then I started watching more with that in mind, and I was like, "She's totally right."
Mm-hmm.
Because I thought he was so handsome. He was like the picture perfect like guy. He's got this red Porsche. He dresses really cool. His boots were awesome.
Yeah, obviously
like everything
popular.
was everything was great about him. And then she's like, "I find him quite creepy." And I'm like, "Oh my God."
Like right off the bat she did?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, like within the first few with him on camera type of thing. So as I continued to watch the movie, I was trying to reflect back to how I felt then. Mm-hmm. And I was so off when I was 12 years old. Because this movie is so racist, so sexist.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um,
Welcome to Old Roommates podcast. We find this to be true with so many 80s,
Comedies.
70s.
Oh,
it's comedies.
I just feel like a lot, yes, I know where you guys are coming from. They are. But this movie, it's all so right in your face.
Mm-hmm.
And it's PG.
Yes.
Which means...
And you're right about
yeah.
she's in the
Shower.
She's showering. You can see her, and these two creeps are watching her shower.
Yeah.
Like, I was like,
It's like, I think the sound
They
effects
go
even
boing.
go boing. Yeah. Just like, and then with Long Duk Dong, the gong
The gong
sound.
every time it
Oh,
shows up.
every time.
My...
I don't know if you guys
God.
noticed on the bus, there was Penthouse magazine being thrown
Oh
around
my gosh.
on the bus ride.
Wow.
I was like, what is
What the
that?
hell?
Yeah. I mean, just like...
The word faggot is tossed around,
Oh.
I think, 3 times.
Yep, that was the
Yeah.
other one. Lots of homophobia in
It's
the
a
movie.
favorite of 80s movies.
Yeah.
When her friend is talking about, I don't know, they're having a conversation in the hallway, and she says,
She's-
she whispers,
Yeah.
the black guy with the black guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She says about the Trans Am in the driveway with the... She wants the Trans Am in the driveway with a bow.
Oh, a black trans or
And
something
she
like
goes,
that, right?
and she's like, I want a guy in my driveway standing in front of a Trans Am or whatever, and she's like, in a black one. And her friend goes, a black guy?
Yeah.
She's like, no, black car.
God forbid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God. And it only makes it worse because there is no black person in this movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, so,
Yeah. It gets even creepier that Molly Ringwald and Anthony Michael Hall were both 15 when they filmed it, 16 when it finished.
Mm-hmm.
And Michael,
Yeah.
whatever,
yes.
Schaefer, I don't know how you even pronounce
Yeah.
his last name,
Schwarzenegger.
was 23 years old.
Yeah. Well, and he
Oh,
looks
I didn't
like,
know that.
Yeah,
I didn't know
that's
that.
even more creepy.
Oh my
and he looks
God.
30.
He absolutely looks
Right?
30. Maybe that's why Mallory was thinking that, because he doesn't look like a high school
No,
student.
and let me tell
Yeah.
you, so
Or one of the reasons she was saying that.
when I first saw this movie, I am one of the only ones, I think, that did not find Jake Ryan attractive. I felt like his face was too pointy or something. He just wasn't my kind of guy.
Okay.
And now watching it as an adult, I felt the same way. I'm like, he really isn't that great looking. And he stands out as such an old person. Like, he looks like a teacher in the school. He does not
Yeah,
look like
He does.
a 17-year-old
And
or
it's-
whatever he's supposed to be.
Yeah, and he's
Yeah.
so weird when he's talking about, like, kind of wanting to be with Samantha.
Yes.
And it's a little bit like,
And he wants her. He
Fake.
wants her because why? Because
Because she
she's
wants that-
looking
she-
at him.
She
because
wants
he
to
wants
have
he wants to be in
sex.
love with
But he
But
said
she-
something like, "She's always looking at me. She's always looking at me."
yeah.
And I think that's why he wanted to get to know her, is because he knows that she's obsessed with him.
First
It
of
was
all,
very
wait a second.
strange.
I just want to say, I'm
Yes.
sorry. You guys are both on the wrong path. I am here to bring you back on the path with some
Oh,
Right
thank
on.
you.
with some good old fashioned mansplaining.
Go
So-
on, Andy Cohen.
God. Remember the note in class. She
Yes.
is writing down that she wants to have sex with him. He
Yes.
pulls
And
the
he
note.
finds
And
the-
yes,
yes.
she writes down all this stuff. And then magically, he's interested in her.
No,
He
but
is a
wait a
sleazebag.
minute. No, because when they were in that class, that independent study class,
Yeah.
he was staring at the back of her head like a real weirdo. It's
Yeah.
like, why is he admiring the back of her head? Like he
Yeah.
was like longingly looking.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, he
before
leered.
the note
He
even
leered
falls.
at her throughout this whole.
So he
yeah.
he had an interest in her before that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I feel like the conversation was before that, or maybe
Good conversation.
when he's like, "What do you know about the Samantha Baker?"
No, I think that is
Was it after that?
Yeah, with his beefhead friend in the
Yeah.
gym.
Who's cute?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Although he looks 40.
Yes.
Right?
He
Oh
looked
my
like he was the
God.
gym teacher.
Yeah.
He says, "What do you think of Samantha Baker?" I don't.
And he shouldn't, because he's probably twice her age.
Seriously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy about the 15 and 23, though.
Oh my
Right?
God, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I could have probably could have guessed it looking at him. He does not look like a high
Yes.
school student. So my big concern here, my big issue with this movie is we don't really ever get to know Sam before this birthday fiasco.
Right.
She is such a whiny, snotty, and then she's the lead character.
Well, I think her sister points it out for us. The conversation with her when she's in her sister's bedroom, and the sister's wearing her lingerie or whatever, and
The
she's
sister
like,
is my favorite part of this whole
the
movie.
sister. So when the
She's
sister,
so
when the
freaking
sister,
funny.
obviously they, the big thing is she has her period, and when she goes to the church and she takes all the muscle
Yeah.
relaxes, the whole film it seems like she's on these muscle relaxes.
Yes.
The most upbeat she was was actually on the muscle relaxers, I
Yes.
think. But in the bedroom, she's like, it's like her boudoir. She's
Yeah.
walking around. Like she needs like a long cigarette or something.
Well, the grandmother had that one.
Yeah.
Oh, the mother.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
no, it was the grandmother.
And Sam, I think she's laying on the bed looking through magazines, and she's like just kind of like complaining about the boy,
Whatever, yeah.
or situations.
She was upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the sister goes, you're being something about you're being selfish. You're being an asshole.
Oh my
So
God.
I think in the
You're being
yeah. So the sister was
an
like,
asshole.
I think you're upset because I'm getting all the attention. Because... so
all the attention.
yeah.
But because of that, though,
Yeah.
like you don't really get to know Sam, and so as a lead character, like what I struggled a lot with is like, oh my God, just shut up, Sam. Like
Yeah.
I feel like she lost a lot of her relatability to
Yeah.
me.
Mm-hmm.
And, like, you know, the whole, like, they fucking forgot me. First of all, she says fucking. It's PG.
Yeah.
They fucking forgot my birthday. And then when her friend, and I actually liked the friend. Her friend was very level-headed.
I really
her
liked
friend's
her,
like,
too.
well, why didn't you just tell them? She's like, I wouldn't stoop to remind them. I'm like, then shut up.
Yeah, I really liked the friend, too. I thought she was funny.
The grandparents.
The grandparents, oh my gosh.
Listen, again with the sexism, so much groping in this movie.
Oh.
So
boy.
much groping.
The grandfather that's kind of like a borderline perverted pedophile
Borderline.
with the grandmother that felt her up.
Yeah.
The other two were the most stable that
Yes.
occupy her bedroom.
God.
But
By the way, that actor died, like, the following year. The
Oh,
nice
no.
grandparents that answered the phone in the night.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
yeah.
I loved the grandparents, too. But I agree. Like, the writing is just so bad in terms of all of it. But you almost, honestly, like, watching these grandparents, I just feel like people have grandparents like that. They don't have any boundaries. They are going to, like, just, oh, look, she's got her boobies.
Yeah.
You know, and they're totally embarrassing. And
Yeah.
then they have the other ones that are just out of control in other ways.
I agree with that. I think even, like, my grandparents, my mom's side, it's like watching my grandfather, like, it was always about, like, hey, any girls at my sister, any boy, you know, what's going
Yeah.
on, blah, 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 blah. And then my grandmother would have to be the one to, like, rail it
Mhm.
in.
Yeah.
Because it was like, wow, you're awfully concerned about the datings, the
Right.
dating opportunities for your teenage grandchildren.
Right.
But it's like, it's almost like how normal, I'll use the word normal, are you? Like, it's like,
Right.
I remember vividly, my friend Julie, but you know her too.
Yeah.
Like, there was like, we were like Mutt and Jeff. We were always together, like hanging out. And I remember my grandfather's like, so what's going on with Julie? And I'm like, oh, she's just my friend. He's like, Brian, enough friends. Enough friends. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you need a girl. And of course, like, I mean, people knew I was gay when I was like 6 years old. So it was more like, I think it was just him trying to protect me or to be
Yep.
or to figure something out. I think
Well,
it's,
they just didn't get it.
Or they didn't get it. Or,
Totally,
like, the
they were born
but-
in the 1900s, for God's sake, right? Like
right. Well, that's
1902, 1903, like.
That's right. It's like, so it's like to them, it's like stability. That
Mhm.
like relationships, like meeting the girl, meeting the boy, that suggests like health and stability.
Right.
And I think that's why grandparents are so preoccupied. Like, oh, what is your body doing? Oh, look at you. Yeah,
Yeah.
It makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And I even still with that my grandmother actually felt me up. Yeah, I never thought that was like that. I thought her line is much funnier than what happens.
Yes,
Yeah.
and you don't see it.
You
Like
don't
it's
see it,
off.
yeah.
It's
But
you
she
know.
kinda-
Plus, she gets
you kinda-
very
She
Yeah.
gross.
goes
Yeah.
in.
And the,
you know what's
and the
going to
creepy
happen.
grandfather is over her shoulder, like looking like, oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I
See?
need a, oh, I'm gonna need a magnifying glass.
Oh, his face and his face was very weird.
Ugh.
And very
why?
intense
And
eyes.
so that house is like a nice big colonial.
Right.
I didn't understand why it seemed like there was only one
There's
bathroom.
one bathroom,
In
one
this
bedroom.
big
right?
house.
Oh my God.
It seemed
That's
a little
so true.
strange.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
That is
That's-
so true.
that
That
is
is
funny.
so
Like,
weird.
there's not another bathroom in this house
Well,
anymore?
maybe the sister occupies the one.
Oh, maybe.
bathroom.
She's got her own ensuite or something. She looked like she would.
marrying the bohunk.
The oily bohunk.
No, really bohunk.
What does that even mean?
And isn't he the janitor from Breakfast Club?
Yes.
Yeah.
And he also has a recurring role on Days of Our Lives now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I'd shit and die twice.
I'd
Yes.
shit twice and die.
Shit twice.
Oh, shit twice and die. I wrote it right and said it wrong. I'd shit twice and... What did I say? I'd die twice and shit?
Shit,
No, what'd I
die
say?
twice. I don't know.
I'd shit twice and die. Yeah. Jake Ryan and Caroline Milford. I think Caroline might be my favorite character. The girlfriend.
the girlfriend.
She knows what she wants.
Yeah, I like.
She's a monster, but I feel like I'm like, you know what? I'd rather watch a movie about her than about Sam.
She was
Yeah.
very interesting. She was an interesting character for
She
sure.
was.
She's also another one that looked about 30.
She did.
So she and Jake seemed to go
Carl
well
goes,
pretty good.
Is that Heather Locklear? She looks a lot like Heather Locklear.
She does.
Like, yeah, she does.
Yeah.
Look,
does.
she
I
does
think
look
I
much
thought
older.
she actually looked older than Jake.
Yeah, she
She
does.
She did
Sense.
look a lot. Yeah,
Yeah.
she looked
Yeah.
older than Jake. She certainly had the body of a 30-year-old, right?
Yeah, and that purple dress.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my god.
But yeah, I mean, she was kind of a monster, but
But at least she knew what she wanted, and I don't know, to me, I like that she was so strong.
she was very confident.
Yes.
Because what would she say?
She has a special...
I can name
50 different guys.
Oh, that's perfect, because then he says he could violate her in
5 different ways. Oh,
10
yeah, whatever,
different
10
ways.
different ways.
It's all about
Yeah.
numbers with these two.
Yeah.
But then doesn't someone say, like, oh, she has a special needs brother and she takes care of him when she's in the shower?
What?
Doesn't she? Don't they say that? Oh, she's like God's gift. She apparently has... By the way, that sound is my sock on the chair. I'm not sure.
Sure it
it
is.
is.
Sure it is.
He's not wearing socks. people.
So, I
You
thought
know, this is
when-
the first I've heard of her with a special needs.
No,
brother.
Yeah, I
when
missed
you're looking
that
at her in the shower, like,
whole thing.
oh, she's such a I think
Like a
what did
Mother
they say? She's
Teresa
like a
type?
perfect, yeah. Oh, she's so perfect. She even at home, I even hear she takes care of her brother who has special something like that. Oh my god, now I have to rewatch it.
Yeah,
I don't want to.
I have it
know.
at home
Yeah.
still.
Maybe
Yeah.
just fast forward.
I'll fast forward to that part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I thought that's what it was, and then she was like this like amazing, just
She
this.
doesn't strike me as someone who's taking care of her brother at home.
Although she did say when she was with Farmer Ted the morning after, and she's like, yeah, he's like, where are we? And she's like, we're parked in the parking lot across from my church.
Mm.
You want a church?
There has to be a more dignified mode of transportation.
the
Oh
bus.
my God, Sam, just stop.
Yeah.
Stop.
Yeah, angst, teen angst.
Yeah, a little bit.
My next note, Anthony Michael Hall, A+.
I love
Best performance in
him.
this movie.
Yeah.
I love his character.
Yeah.
I love every single thing about him in this movie. He is so effing funny. He delivers every line perfectly. He's so believable. It's like he's just so enthusiastic. He has so much confidence,
Yeah.
but he's such a geek.
Right.
And
He just let loose.
So
He let loose
good.
with the role.
he is
And
so
his
good.
His interaction or his chemistry with his two best geek buddies
Mhm.
yeah.
is
Yes.
hysterical.
Yeah.
And he's so cute.
Yeah.
He's so cute.
John Cusack being one of them.
John Cusack.
Yes.
Yeah.
And isn't Eric
and-
Stoltz in
and
it too?
Joan
Is he one of
Cusack is in it.
I don't think so. But yeah, Joan Cusack is in it.
I heart Joan Cusack's sweater that she wears to the
Oh my
dance. I want
gosh.
that sweater.
Such a good, yeah. Such a
It's
good
so
sweater.
versatile. And she doesn't have any lines. She
She has
just says,
nothing, really?
I. Yep. I think that's
Oh
really
my
it.
gosh,
All she
That
says.
is really, really, really funny.
How about Molly Ringwald on the bus? Isn't she saying, yes, you're a total fag to Anthony Michael Hall?
Yes, when
Not
he's just
very-
coming to say hi, like, and he likes.
Well,
her.
coming to
He's-
say
yeah.
hi, he doesn't let her
he's-
out of the seat.
Well, that's true.
He is a little overbearing.
Yeah.
I felt, and he almost tries to push himself on her
Yeah.
a couple of different
Well,
times.
yes, in the car,
Yes.
right at the dance.
Yes.
And on the bus, he wouldn't let her
Yes,
by.
and he wouldn't let her by.
Right.
I would have been punching him and elbowing
Yeah,
him
I
in
mean,
the
it's not like
face
she couldn't take him.
repeatedly. Yeah, she just kind of like
She's just annoyed. She doesn't take him seriously.
no.
And I think that's part of what is okay with him because you don't really take him seriously. Like, you don't see him as a threat. Even though he's standing there, you know if push comes to shove, he's going to step aside.
Yes.
So I don't really see him as a villain,
Yeah. No, I agree with
rapist,
you there. I agree with you there.
unlike Jake, the 23-year-old.
Oh my God, that was dark. Next we meet, at least in my notes. Please stop me. I don't know if I'm going too fast.
Stop!
Long Duk Dong.
Yes.
Bong.
Yeah, the gong rings every time they show him.
Yep.
It is as awful as it sounds. If you have not revisited this movie in a bit, maybe you should check it out. It's currently on Max, I believe, and it is so offensive, so racist, awful. It's
It
terrible.
is.
It's like, you're like, what?
And the saddest part about it is those are all the lines that we've said over the years.
Oh my God, it's so
Our favorite
true.
lines are all
It's all
things
these
that he
terrible.
Yeah,
Yep.
he said.
Even the grandparents make fun of him because he's talking wrong, like he's saying wrong words.
Yeah.
The grandparents.
And
This,
laughing
You know,
and-
laughing and making fun. I'm like, oh my
Grandpa's
gosh.
hyena.
Hyena, yeah.
Please address emails to Naomi
Yeah.
at oldroommates.com. At oldroommatespod.com. I love the use of the song True by Spandau Ballet. At the
Oh, that was
dance.
at the
Yes, the
dance.
dance.
Yes.
They use that song a lot in movies. At least I'm realizing as we revisit these things.
Although that 16 Candles didn't have as big of a musical
Soundtrack.
soundtrack as Breakfast Club did.
Or as Pretty in Pink did. Yeah, I think both of those.
Yeah.
I think Pretty in Pink soundtrack did very well in sales.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
This is when I really lost any remaining love for, what's her name? Sam.
Sam.
Anthony Michael Hall, keeping in mind that no one else has approached her.
Right.
Anthony Michael Hall, looking totally cute, is really interested. He's talking to her, keeping her company.
Yep.
He starts dancing because it's a dance.
It's a dance.
And he dances really...
He does.
Super
Yes.
fun.
Super cute.
He's not groping her. He's not grabbing her. It's like to pull her. He is dancing for her to kind of get her to have fun.
Yeah.
Her natural reaction, of course, is to burst into tears and storm off, and then cry in the hallway while people walk by.
Yeah, that was a little odd.
A little bit dramatic. A little dramatic.
That seemed like a little over the top.
Oh my god.
Like she
What
was...
a baby.
She went from writing Jake Ryan's name down to being like so head over heels in love with him.
Wouldn't you go to the girls' room? Like, why would you stop short in the hall and sit down on the floor, gross, and cry? And by the way, Caroline says hi to her.
She walks past with her
very
friends,
sweet.
smoking.
Yeah. Even though Sam is the villain and wants to bust them up.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Poor
Sam is the bad
Caroline.
guy.
But Sam is the reason why Caroline isn't with Jake anymore. So in a way, she is the heroine in this because Caroline deserves more than Jake.
So it's funny.
Carolyn. I think it's Carolyn.
All right, sorry.
Isn't it?
Well,
I think it's Caroline. Yeah.
I love that you correct me, but you're not even sure.
It is.
That is
Because
so Christina. Naomi, this is what Christina does every episode.
She listens to every episode. She knows.
I don't think she does.
No,
But,
it was like, because you know why? Because I feel it in my gut when you're wrong.
Well, guess
Blurt
what? It's the
out,
same. It's the same.
It's wrong. And then I question it, but then I'm always right anyway.
Listen, it's the same clip I have to watch. I have to watch when they talk about her brother at home. And they're going to say her name.
Wait, what
right
did
then
you
and
say?
there.
What did you say?
I think it's Carolyn.
I think it's Caroline.
It is
Caroline.
Caroline.
How do you know?
I stand corrected.
It's in my notes.
But no, but it could be pronounced the same way.
She printed out.
Caroline.
That's Caroline.
Caroline.
You didn't know how it was spelled, Christina, but
You just said maybe it's. Oh my God!
Oh my
You're
God!
The one
No,
that
you're
just brought
you
up
are
spelling.
so pathetic
This
right
is
now.
I have a
This is
sister
awesome.
named Carolyn. I know how.
How do you
Carolyn.
spell it? How do you spell Carolyn?
Carolyn. That's Carolyn.
So then why are you questioning me?
Because I thought you were saying Caroline. I thought it was Carolyn. That's why I was questioning you.
Naomi.
I can settle this.
Please.
It's Caroline.
I love you.
It's Caroline.
My new
You're
co-host,
so afraid of Christina.
Naomi.
You are so afraid. All right, underpants. Girls. Underpants.
Girls.
That
Oh,
was
and
bad.
what Mallory
funny.
said, she goes, oh, those are granny panties.
Oh, I didn't think
What?
so. Were they?
Well,
What is she wearing?
compared to what the girls wear nowadays,
Oh, I see. Yeah.
certainly were granny panties.
Yeah, no, they were fine. I mean, I think that was appropriate. Whatever.
So I seriously wrote, the Geek can do better. 3 lines later, Jake Ryan can do better.
Oh my
Sam is
God.
not good. You guys,
Wow.
I think you're giving her some residual love
Listen,
from her other
I'm giving her a little
John
bit of love
Hughes.
because I remember what it was like to be a teenager,
Yes.
and there's hormones running through your body. Everything is very dramatic. Everything means a whole lot more in the moment than what we...
And you guys both have daughters. Yeah. So,
we both have daughters. We get it. I
Yeah.
mean, love is hard. Crushes are hard. Social acceptance is hard.
And that's how you are. You are selfish. That age
That's
is
exactly
such
right.
a selfish age. So in
And she's
terms of
pissed.
how she was as a character, she was like the perfect
Yes.
like 16-year-old.
I think so too.
In a lot of
but
ways.
if I woke up
Without
at
the
16
racism.
and it was a sweet 16, so it's a milestone birthday,
Mhm.
and you wake up and you realize nobody freaking remembered your birthday, I'd be pissed too.
Yeah.
So I get it. I totally get it. And then someone's hitting on you that you don't want to be hitting on, and you just feel like your whole world is crumbling.
And every little thing embarrasses you. So I could see how that Ed dancing in front of her like that
yes
was like, oh my God, this geek is dancing like a goof in front of me. I have to get out of here.
Yeah, you just
So-
you're humiliated, and you're just like, I can't handle this anymore. This day sucks.
Hmm.
All of that. By the way, his
So I guess the
character
crime.
name in this movie is the Geek.
I thought it was Farmer Ted.
It is
Farmer
Ted.
Ted. I said Ed. Farmer.
But
Yeah,
he's-
Yeah,
that's
they call him
Ted.
Farmer Ted. I don't know why.
But it's in the credits.
It's the Geek.
It's the
yeah,
geek.
yeah.
Okay.
The Geek. I've never bagged a babe. Maybe if we knew Sam a tiny bit before the birthday blow off, I would care more or at all about any of this. That's my big note.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I'm not a teenage
You're not a
girl
teenage
with
girl.
hormones. Yeah. So, but don't you think some like movies should sort of have some appeal to a little bit of everyone?
Yes, and I think that John Hughes usually does a pretty good job
Mhm.
at that. I think this movie is a little bit more extreme in terms of some of the characters. Like, obviously, we all know someone who was a bit geeky, but not quite as geeky.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And we know someone who's,
The jock.
the jock, but not quite. Or even like the Caroline character.
Mhm.
Yeah.
She's beautiful, but not quite as voluptuous and beautiful. It's like everything is very exaggerated. in
That's
this
actually
movie.
a really good point, Christina.
And even like the sister, like obnoxious sister. I mean,
she's still
we
going.
all had an obnoxious sister. What?
I said, that's such a great point, Christina. And then you kept going. I was like, oh, she's still gonna. She's still gonna.
But think about that. Like,
No,
the
it's true.
grandparents are
You know what?
exaggerated.
Yeah.
Christina, you were exactly right, because that even the line that Jake Ryan says about
Mhm.
violating her 10 times is a very exaggerated machismo way of thinking about
Yeah.
a woman. So it's like, I think you are right. This is like an exaggerated, that all of these situations or characters are exaggerated a bit. Even Sammy, Samantha, awful Samantha.
Well, I think that's kind of a John Hughes thing, though.
Yes.
Is to have these very exaggerated type of characters.
and
I
you hope
suppose.
to relate to at least a part of it.
Like, because the next film I think he did was Weird Science. You want to talk about exaggerated.
Oh, God.
Right. Well, even Breakfast Club.
Yeah, there were
all
types. Yeah.
Type. That was a little more subtle.
Yeah, I almost feel like with 16 Candles, he started something. And then with Breakfast Club, he sort of just tried to fine-tune it a little bit more
Yeah.
and tighten
Yeah.
it up a bit.
Definitely.
One thing I noticed, I don't know if you guys caught this, a lot of Samantha's lines begin with, I can't believe. She says, I can't believe they fucking forgot my birthday. I can't believe my grandmother actually felt me up. I can't believe I'm such a jerk. I can't believe I gave my panties. I can't believe
Yeah.
I can't believe I gave my panties to a geek. Just a little note there. A lot of her lines begin with, I can't believe.
That's interesting.
Sounds about
Yeah.
right.
Yeah, and
Or
I think
16.
that
Here
is,
we go. Here
but I
comes
think
the
that's-
defense brigade.
but I think that she just can't believe this whole day. Like,
Yeah.
she just woke up and this whole day is just one
Do you even agree with me that?
disaster after another.
Mhm.
Yeah, speaking of a disaster, I'm ready to just stop this whole episode.
Don't be upset if someone's disagreeing with you.
But
about
it's two of you disagreeing with me.
it. Well, it was your idea to get Naomi on this
Well,
podcast.
I just think that Christina has a point. You know.
I said that already.
Yeah.
Christina has a point.
Thank
Okay.
you. Just
I
say
did-
it again.
But do you agree with my point that it would have been nice to at least know a little bit about Samantha and her overall attitude
Yes.
before this happened? Because I
Yes.
don't
Yes.
know. Is she just like this every day? Maybe she is.
Right, or is
Maybe
she
this
just having a bad day? This is a
just
bad
having a bad day.
situation, and
Yes.
I think there's tender moments with her that you could kind of see when she has her conversation with her father.
Like her dad, yeah, that's a nice conversation for sure.
Yeah.
And even like the conversation she has with Farmer Ted.
Yeah.
that's a nice moment too.
In the car.
Yeah, in
I
the
like
car.
that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I also feel like John Hughes is assuming we are going to immediately relate to Samantha.
Mm-hmm.
I think that he's looking at like that teen angst. His audience is the teenager in high school. And so I think that he's relying a lot on that, and maybe it doesn't really translate as an adult, for sure.
Yeah.
But, you know, as a child, I totally got it. When I was in high school watching this, I'm like, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I'm
I was
right
right
in there
there
with you, baby.
Yeah, absolutely. Brian wasn't.
Maybe there was just
Clearly.
too much of a reliance.
He was just so
on that
above it all.
assumption. Yeah. Brian, well, he was the geek. He was upset that Samantha wasn't going to give him, you know, her panties.
That's true.
Brian, we'll give you our panties if it's going to make you happy.
Don't be such faggot.
We'll do it
And I will
right
tell you
now.
something. If Mallory thought that Samantha's were granny panties, she ain't seen nothing.
My next note is don't be such faggots. This is when they're about to go into the house party.
Oh, yes.
Quite the house party.
Yeah. Oh, that
Oh,
house
my
party.
God.
I felt so
This-
bad for that house.
Oh,
It's.
and this was Caroline's fault, so she's
Yes, it
not
was.
completely innocent in
But
this.
don't you think it's a little much?
A little?
I guess it's the same thing when you're saying that the characters are just a little.
Everything's
Everything's a
exaggerated.
little,
Heightened.
exaggerated. Everything. Pizza on the record player,
Yeah, there was
spinning
Oh.
and spinning.
zero.
I mean, the
Zero respect.
the wall smashes down because of the weight.
weights.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
And
That
then
fall
if
off.
they're outside, like everyone's outside,
There's
and like
toilet paper
everywhere,
TP'd everywhere.
What?
They're riding the exercise bike together.
The
Yeah.
crash at the front
The
of the house
crash? Oh
with
my
Long
God.
Duk Dong, and
And the thing
the
is, like,
people are in the car still going at it.
but and here's Jake Ryan, who appears to be sober, right?
Yeah.
Throughout the whole thing, it's his house. Why isn't he saying get out
Get
of
out
the
of the
house?
house.
Where is
And
his
why wasn't he-
responsibility in
Why
this?
wasn't he petrified to not clean the whole thing before his parents?
Oh my
got
God,
home?
I know.
seriously.
He left that morning
And
to
to
go
go-
meet Sam
Yeah.
at church.
So here's a little insight into his life, right? Like a spoiled
Yeah.
brat.
Yeah.
He has this beautiful car, this beautiful house, and has no responsibility,
And gives
For
his
any of
father's Rolls Royce to someone that doesn't even have a license.
right?
Oh my
And has been
God.
drinking.
I know.
And
I know.
is basically telling him to have sex in it,
Yeah.
right?
She won't even know the difference.
Won't even know the difference.
Wow. I feel like I would.
I would hope.
I mean, Jake
Um,
Ryan or the Geek.
Yeah.
I feel like I would know the difference.
Well, and is it? I forget now. Did he actually have sex with her? Because
So
she's
that's
like, did
weird.
we?
She says, "I'm pretty
Sure
sure
we-
we did."
I don't
think
I don't
so.
think so.
I don't think either, because I don't think he would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's weird
I mean, she
how
was all over
it's
him, but
weird
still.
how she appeared obviously very intoxicated.
Right.
Yes.
He had been drinking, but he seemed to have it all put together.
Yes.
So why doesn't he remember anything that happened the
Right.
night before? Unless they
Unless he's not correcting her because he likes the idea that she thinks they did.
He
It seemed
genuinely
like he-
looked like he didn't remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
He took one of the birth control
He took a
pills.
birth control pill and then
Maybe that's
what
what happens if you're a
a
boy.
boy. Yeah.
But yeah, you're right, Naomi. That's an excellent point. Like, you never really see him drunk or anything.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
True.
I don't know.
Excellent point.
But I did feel bad for the house.
I felt so
Ugh.
bad for the house. It makes me cringe when you think about in the next morning.
You
just
know
looking at
me.
everything.
How I am.
God.
Yeah. Oh my God.
You'd be
me.
walking
That-
around.
That
Yeah.
whole scene stresses me out
So
so
I
badly.
feel like you are so
Careful, Christina.
She's a guest,
so
Christina.
so let me tell
Careful.
this audience. So we go to her house on New Year's Eve.
Don't
okay?
spread that around. People are going to want to come over.
The address is no.
Party of the year.
But I think that in the back of your mind, you have this movie in your mind, and you're thinking, "Oh God, this is what my house
This
is
is
going to look
how
like.
they destroy my
This
house.
is what my house is going to look like in the morning if I
Yes.
don't pick up immediately."
Mhm.
So I think that maybe this is what triggered all this movie.
It could be.
I don't
maybe.
know. And we talked about this with when we talked with the Money Pit a million years ago.
Yeah.
Where Money Pit gave me anxiety.
Yeah.
It's like when you're older as a grown up, you're like, oh my God, my fucking house. You
Yeah.
the
It could
humor as a grown up, the humor is not
How are they taking
It
this
is.
so lightly?
No.
oh my God. This is like parties, but there's also like the people themselves. Meaning like, okay, sure, it's a wild party. There's wild, like you're saying, pizza on the record player and all that. It's like So that means almost every single person there has such little regard, not only for the house, but for Jake.
Yes.
And Caroline.
Yes.
So what happens next day, or what happens on Monday when everyone goes back to school? It's like, how'd your house? I mean, you're seeing these people. You don't really trash their house.
Yeah, I just don't think they care that much as teenagers.
Smash your car in the front yard.
Oh my God. Yeah.
This house was more in control than even the party in Some Kind of Wonderful. Like, even that wasn't as crazy.
No, that party was fine.
Right?
Yeah.
Or even
Or
Pretty in Pink.
Pretty in Pink.
Pretty in Pink, yeah.
I mean, sure, what's her name? And
they were having sex everywhere.
Yes, Steph and who's the girl?
It's a boy name, remember?
Yeah, it is. Oh, God damn. What is the blonde's name in that movie? But, yeah. Anyway,
yeah,
I digress.
did we ever
but also,
did you
also...
sorry, we revisited that a while ago. And do you remember
yeah.
listening to it? And all the guys have girl names, and
Yeah,
all the girls have guy names. It's so funny.
But I will say...
Or major appliance names.
Yeah. But I will say, they also say faggot in that movie. She's like,
It's an 80s thing, I'm telling you. Nobody cared about saying that word in the 80s. Nobody did.
Disgusting.
Even the so-called heroes of the movies were saying it. Nobody cared.
Long Duk Dong falls out of a tree. And the next morning they find him, and someone says, he's dead. The father says, great, I spent $7,000 on a wedding, and I'll never see it.
Yeah.
That's the concern there.
Yeah.
They do not care about Long Duk Dong.
But my biggest concern was, oh my God, only $7,000 on a wedding?
Right?
In 80 and 84.
That's not bad.
It's quadruple the price now.
Right?
Neither one of us is going to die if it doesn't happen for us. Caroline says that.
It's a great line.
That was a very mature thing for her
I said she should coach Sam.
Yeah, seriously.
Guys, I feel like we're skipping over a lot because I'm talking very quickly.
Go ahead.
No, that's it.
So I just had some trivia things.
Oh, well, wait. Let's keep going with our review.
Yes.
All right.
Naomi,
I'm
please
sorry.
do not dictate or direct this episode.
I just thought that maybe we could adjust the schedule a little
Well,
bit.
you were wrong. How's that?
Since I'm here.
Down boy. This is a guest.
Thank you.
I was always confused about this whole Jake-Samantha relationship. The calling her, the whole thing. Like, why is he calling her? Why does he think it's okay, out of the blue, to call this girl in the middle of the night? I just don't understand any of that. And I just don't. Any thoughts about that? Do you think it was appropriate? Do you think it was normal? Like, I don't understand any of it.
I don't know. I didn't think it was that far off.
I've never had a man.
Do you mean, why right then and there he has to call her? Is that
kind of? Yeah. I mean, he just finds out that day that she likes him, apparently. And then even in the coat room and stuff, they almost say hello.
Well, he says hello to her.
And she gets weird.
And she just goes.
And she leaves. So
away.
then he feels like
how
it's
unlike
necessary.
Samantha storming off.
She can't believe
she
it.
She just said, I can't.
She can't believe it. I can't believe I walked away from Jake. But it's weird. Like, they haven't had a conversation, and he finds her phone number. I don't know. It was just weird to me that he looked up her phone number and calls her in the middle of the night. Well, this party's happening.
It's a weird choice.
And then, but maybe I did think it was funny when the grandparents answered.
Well, that's probably the reason then. It's just like comic relief. Like you're a teenager. You're like, I'm gonna call.
But then he's in hot pursuit of her. Like, and then he shows up at her house. I don't know anybody's gonna do that.
I think he probably was like, okay, it's over with Carolyn. Now I'm confused.
Just call her Carol.
And so I think he was just like, all right, I can be with Samantha now. I can, and so he was in hot pursuit for her.
That's a big assumption.
Right then and there.
Big assumption that Samantha.
I mean, it was the weekend, so.
I guess that Samantha's just sitting there waiting.
And clearly he wasn't going to clean his house.
Right.
I mean, that blew my mind. And also because he brings her
to
back
the house.
completely. It's like, he brought her back to his destroyed home.
But it didn't look. I mean, you could see sort of like
they're sitting on the
looked
table.
like he sort of.
Can we assume he has maids to pick up after himself or something? I don't know.
I mean,
you could be a maid. Imagine being a maid walking into that.
I'd be like,
bye bye.
Yeah.
I quit.
What a nice sister. She blows off her sister's wedding reception.
I can't believe her parents
Let
allowed
her.
that.
I know.
For the guy that clearly a man,
Mm-hmm.
they never met. I'm sorry, my daughter
But-
would not be leaving that wedding.
Do you think that there was actually a reception? Because it seemed like
Oh, they just drove away.
they just drove away like they were going. Bye.
They do that a lot in movies.
And then he asks her, "Do you have to go to the reception?" And she sort of says, "Yes,
goes, "I
no."
guess
She
I'm
is.
supposed to.
Oh yeah, she says
Because
I'm supposed to.
to.
But then she says no, that she doesn't have.
And
So
then
I
she says-
guess
and
there
she's
was.
like, no.
But it seemed like the couple was.
Yeah, because then he's like,
not
"Can
gonna
I
be there.
call you?" And she's like, "No." And then he
Yeah.
has like an attitude. He's like,
He's like,
"I can't call you." And she's like, "No, I don't have to go to the reception."
Yeah.
All about Jake.
It is all about Jake.
Just like Pretty in Pink. All about
All
Blaine.
about Blaine. Poor
That's
Molly.
true.
I know she's
What
always
is
gives
that?
herself up, even after the dad gave her that lovely speech about him realizing how special she is.
Yeah.
About her realizing how special she is, and that Jake should realize how special she is, and if he can't see that, then maybe he's not such a great guy.
Right.
Right.
But she doesn't take any of that advice. She makes herself completely available.
And nothing changes from that. I
Nope.
liked that conversation a lot,
Yeah.
but nothing changes
Right.
based on that conversation.
No, she's still miserable, still moody, doesn't want to be anywhere. All about Jake.
Although she did go back very unselfishly to get the sister's veil that she flung off
That's true.
as she
That's
paraded down the aisle.
true. She was so wow.
I think she was the funniest.
She was hilarious.
Like, I know everybody liked Long Duk Dong because he was, but that scene with her,
It's so underrated.
it's hysterical. And her fiance, soon to be husband, the oily boat hunk,
Right?
trying to like corral her
trying-
up to the altar.
I did.
With the hat when she's flinging.
I did love when. I did think it was funny. What I liked about that scene where she is grabbing hats and hugging people and sitting down and all that. I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
I feel like
so funny.
if you saw that in a wedding, you'd just laugh and go along with it. I
Yes.
think it would be fun. Like no one was shocked. I think that was good. I think I liked when they were leaving the church and she was trying to catch the rice in her mouth.
Jumping
she's
up and
jumping
down.
up and down. I mean, that had to have been like improvised, right?
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
that was
Very
good. What
funny.
did she do after this? Anything? I wonder.
I don't know.
I'll have to look her up. But I thought she was so funny. And and when you think about 16 Candles, you don't think about her, right?
No.
Right.
I mean, it's not something that
No,
stands out,
no.
but she really was like a
But I
highlight,
think revisiting it, you're like, oh, that's, yeah.
for sure.
Those little nuances.
So Naomi, you have a couple of daughters. One who got married a few years ago. So we'll just do, PJ's wedding, I guess, right?
Mhm.
So he gets married, and Jillian's in the wedding because she's about the same age now.
No, Jillian wasn't in
I mean, I'm just.
Oh,
this
okay.
is a scenario.
Okay.
Scenario.
Okay.
And you're about to leave the church, and a man pulls up
In a red
Ferrari,
Looking
or
about
Porsche,
23 years old.
Rolls Royce, whatever it is. Looking about 22,
Yeah.
23. Well, looking about 30. Pulls up, and Jillian's like, "I'm gonna go with this guy.
Jake.
Is this acceptable to you? Or
I
are you
would
gonna be like, bye, have fun, have fun getting laid in his house?"
no, I would probably push her out of the way,
And then you would go.
and then I would.
There you go. That works. Okay, that's a more
Does
realistic.
he have an equally attractive father?
Yeah.
My note here is I predict nothing but doom and disaster for these two.
Oh, this
my
no
god, they
way
are
this is a
not.
healthy
There's
relationship.
no way.
No, there
way.
should have been a part 2.
She is so insecure. He is way too old for her. Like it's not going to happen.
No way. No way. He's
He's going to
end
go
up
off to
controlling
college.
Yeah.
And she's
Cheating
going to
on
be like,
her.
all right, I had my fun with this little girl.
It'll be her first sex.
Yeah.
Definitely her first
everything.
everything, and he's gonna
Yeah.
ditch her.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right
Yeah.
off.
And she'll be known as the whore of the school.
Yeah.
Ruin her reputation.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it will help her.
Oh, maybe yeah. She is
Yeah, 'cause
screwing
she's
Jake
with
Ryan
a
the whole
senior,
time.
and it's Jake
Yeah.
Ryan.
He won't admit to it, though, you
Then-
think?
No, I think it seemed like he would.
He seemed into her. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, if
I don't-
Farmer
I
Ted
don't think
knows
it's
about
gonna
it,
work.
everybody's going to know about it. So
That's true.
It's just not gonna. We can all agree it's not gonna last.
No.
This is.
No, and then she'll go to college, and Farmer Ted will also go to college, and they will end up falling in love.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah. They definitely had better conversations.
They had so much more chemistry.
They definitely are in better age.
better age, and I feel like they both
look
had
better
similar
together.
insecurities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She could learn a thing or two about confidence, though, from him,
Mhm.
Yeah.
right?
And
he,
dancing.
I really liked it. I thought he was fine. I thought he was good. What else? Anything else?
Believe it or not, I have no other notes other than some trivia. But the big question, more, less, or about the same on rewatch did we enjoy 16 Candles? Christina, we'll start with you.
It's a big thumbs up from... I'm just kidding. No, obviously less. It was just too much of everything bad. So much racism, so much sexism, just bad dialogue, bad characters. And the things that made me laugh back then made me cringe now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it has to be a less for me. Naomi, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I still like the idea of like that teenage angst, coming of age type of thing. But looking back at it now, I think it was really bad.
Some funny parts still.
I'm kind of shocked that I was like, loved this movie so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. I felt similar to when we revisited Pretty in Pink. It was like, how do we ever think that these two were good together?
Yeah.
Right? Like, you come to such a realization, like, what the hell? Where was my mind?
Yeah.
My God. Brian, what do you
so
think?
Definitely less.
Yeah, less for me as well. I liked Anthony Michael Hall, but the characters are awful. Racist, homophobic, misogynistic. And I wrote Sam is a miserable brat with no real personality.
Awesome.
Oh my.
No offense.
How do you
Samantha.
really feel?
Jesus.
I loved it.
Poor
No.
Samantha.
Budget $6.5 million. It made $23.6 million.
I'm surprised it wasn't more than that.
Me too. Although, but it's, I mean, 4 times its budget is pretty
No, it's
impressive, yeah.
good, but I just feel like it's such a classic movie.
Probably on VHS, it took on a different life.
Yeah, I would say.
Casting, this is surprising.
Yes.
Molly Ringwald really wanted Viggo Mortensen as Jake.
No
And
way.
the strange thing about that is, and I read that, and I'm like, I didn't know Viggo
Was
Mortensen
around.
even existed until
Right.
Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
She must have been
Like,
friends with them or something, right?
I'm
Yeah.
like, where was
What
he
was he
in
doing?
Hollywood? That was like,
I didn't even go. I should have
that's like-
Googled what he looked like then.
I wonder if I can...
Google it, Christina.
I'm gonna have to figure
I
out
didn't
how
even
to
know he
spell
was an
his name.
actor then.
Do you have this down, Naomi? The Geek original thoughts, considerations were, here's another one. Jim Carrey.
Jim Carrey, yep.
And
Oh,
Ralph
weird.
Macchio.
Neither one of them would have done as good.
But
I-
for Molly Ringwald,
Yeah. Ali Sheedy.
Robin Wright, and Ali Sheedy.
Yeah, which Robin Wright, we talked with this with The Breakfast Club. It was also Robin Wright.
Robin would have made a better Caroline. She would have been more believable Caroline because she would have been a little bit younger, but
Yeah.
she's so beautiful.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, she wouldn't have made a good Sam. Sam needs to be a little bit more awkward looking. I think.
Mm-hmm.
How do you spell Viggo? What is it?
Viggo and then Mort.
All right,
Do
let's see.
Viggo Mortensen 1984. See what pops up.
Don't tell me how to do a Google search.
Could he be Jake Ryan? That's
Yeah,
the
I think he
question.
could have been Jake Ryan.
Let's see.
Really?
He could have been Jake Ryan. He still looks old, obviously, but
Let me see.
yeah, sorry.
That is
He
not.
look- he
that's
looks- I think he looks
the
older.
young. The bottom picture with in the red shirt. He's younger. Could not. I don't think he'd make a great Jake Ryan though.
I wonder why she wanted Viggo Mortensen.
This
Yeah,
one's a little
Do you think
younger,
maybe
too.
she had like a
a little
thing for
crush
him?
on him.
This is him at 23, so it's the same age as what's his face at 23.
Oh, I could kind of see
Oh, you
it
know, he
a
looks
little
like
bit.
he looks like Skarsgård.
He looks.
Yeah, a
Oh,
little
he
bit.
does. He actually
Yeah.
looks like Grant Show too, a little bit.
Oh, he does. Oh my God, Christine, he does. This was originally rated R, but John Hughes fought and won an appeal for PG.
That's before the PG-13
That's right.
rating. That's why.
Molly Ringwald, after 16 Candles, she would make The Breakfast Club in 85, followed by Pretty in Pink in 86. So 84, 85, 86. That was quite the trifecta.
Yes.
for her. So Michael, how do you say it? Shuffling.
Shuffling?
He just like did this and then kind of was like.
Well,
With
he
the
did.
mermaids.
He did.
He did Mermaids.
Yes.
So after
He was
1991,
just as creepy in Mermaids too.
he was like.
He was.
He was
even
like, I'm
creepier,
done.
Probably.
He was even creepier.
Yeah.
What did you say? Sorry.
But after 1991, he like left Hollywood.
What does he do
He's
now?
a furniture maker.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
you haven't seen that meme? I'm gonna show you. Well, I mean, obviously the listeners aren't gonna be able to see it. There's a whole thing. There was like on Facebook where it was like, this is what Jake Ryan is now, and it was like said something about like your 16-year-old self or something or other. I'll see if I can figure it.
Oh, brother. Naomi, any other trivia?
You kind of just jumped on all the ones that I had.
Wow.
That's
there
fine.
it is.
And John Hughes, where did this fall in his...
So this was, I guess this was
That's mean, Christina.
Oh my God.
That's his face. That's what he looks like.
So this was, 16 Candles was his first big hit. And then Breakfast Club, and then Weird Science.
And I think he was involved in Mr. Mom. He wrote the original script for that.
Yep.
There, I think that was it. And then it was all...
Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Yeah.
Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, obviously. Which I never saw.
She's having a baby.
She's having a baby. I saw
So
Curly
many.
Sue. I
I never saw Curly Sue.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
I have a match game. If we're done with trivia, Naomi.
Yep.
I also have a match game. Do we want to do one or two?
Let's do two.
You want to do two?
Let's see who
Okay.
Naomi matches with.
Do I have to write down?
Yeah, you
Yeah,
do.
we matched. Yeah.
Naomi, I love your green paper.
Thank you.
Oh, I like it too.
Thank you. I wanted to match the green room that when I arrived today, I thought would be filled with a nice charcuterie, some nice refreshing drinks.
I offered you crackers.
But we were offered 3 crackers.
And water.
on a
and water.
plate, 3 crackers.
Water.
So next time I come, if you can't provide hair and makeup for me, can you at least have cheese for the crackers?
Always a joy to have you here, Naomi.
It really is a joy to have you.
All right, match game. No one believes Sam's dating Jake. So to prove it, she took one of his blanks.
Oh, brother.
Sort of tying into the underwear thing.
Don't tell
Oh,
me
no, I'm
we've
sorry.
had a match game. This is becoming a problem.
Oh my God, I'm
Ryan.
sorry. I'm not trying to coach you or coerce you. Oh, are you done, Naomi? Neither of you dinged.
I
No,
did.
ding.
Okay. No one believes Sam is actually dating Jake, including me. So to prove it, she took one of his... Christina.
Jocks.
Oh, Naomi.
Jockstrap.
Oh my gosh.
Christina, I really thought you were going to say condoms. Used condom.
You love
Didn't use
Use
condoms in
condom.
the
Gross.
They didn't use condoms in the 80s?
80s. No.
Of course they did.
Yeah, but not really.
Maybe you did.
Oh my God.
No, never
All right, well, so you guys matched. Congratulations.
We did.
Woo.
What did you say? Oh,
Used
condoms.
condoms.
Sorry.
Yeah.
That's gross.
All right, my match game is.
But Christina, really quick, Christina always has condoms for her answers. Almost always.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's usually very appropriate, but not gross like Brian.
Enough, Christina.
I would never say used condom.
So nasty.
All right, this is kind
Here
of
we
a
go.
silly one. Samantha's parents were the worst.
How awful were they?
First, they forget her birthday, and then the following year, they forgot her blank. They were the worst. I usually do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't know.
Okay. Mine.
Mine's pretty bad too.
They probably all match. They probably all match. So her parents were the worst. Last year they forgot her birthday, and the following year they forgot her
Prom.
Oh, that's good.
Oh my God, that's my second answer. I wrote prom, but my first answer is existence.
I said name. Well, Naomi, thank you so
Thank you, guys.
much for
I
joining us.
appreciate
It's always
it.
so much fun.
I'm always happy to come help your ratings.
Oh.
Any opportunity I can.
I will say
to help your ratings.
I will say our Breakfast Club episode is one of our highest rated episodes.
Well,
ever.
it has nothing to do with
So.
the movie. Oops.
Oops.
Let's have her in one of these,
The random ones. We
Curly Sue.
Night Mother. See how the ratings are.
God.
No.
It was
Clearly
a lot of
people
fun.
love you.
It was a lot of fun.
We are so happy that
Thank
you're
you for
here.
making the time.
And yeah, hopefully you'll come back again.
I will.
Oh, and before you write us emails, because people love, because this was a highly requested movie.
Yes.
But before you do, maybe just revisit it. It's on Max because it might be a
Seriously.
little different than you remember.
Right. We are happy to hear all of your opinions as long as you are a well-informed person.
Yes.
Before writing these scathing emails. And that was 16 Candles.
And that's it for us and for this episode of Old Roommates.
Thank you for listening. Please remember to follow us on Instagram or YouTube, where we have our episodes as well as a little extra.
And if you have any questions about our show, any suggestions for movies we could revisit, reach out to us at oldroommatespod@gmail.com.
Thanks again for listening.
This is Brian.
And this is Christina. Until next time.